Can we talk sleep? I feel like I should just kind of crawl up and take a little nap here. So here's the thing about sleep. Sleep is really, really important. The first half of the night is about physical recovery, and the second half of the night is about mental recovery. So physical recovery is about the muscles that get tensed up from stress in our day, the workouts that we did, the injury that occurred, maybe the sickness that we have. These are all physical things that need time to recover. Then the second half of our sleep is mental. That means all of the thought processes that go on, the deadlines that we have to finish, the ideas we have to solve, the things we need to learn, all the stuff that goes on in our brain. Second half of the night, right? In a perfect scenario, we're getting 8 hours, 4 and 4, really. And during that sleep, though, here's the thing. We have a lot more, things to think about, but I'm going to stick to 2 of them: cortisol and serotonin. Okay, I know there's a lot more out there, but we're just going to stick to these 2. Keep this super simple. Cortisol is your daytime hormone. It is the thing that keeps you awake, doing what you need to do all day long, right? Cortisol and serotonin cannot work together. So cortisol has to shut down for serotonin to kick up and keep you asleep. This is your sleep time stuff, right? So in a perfect world, you would get home at night and maybe you have dimmers so that you don't blast on the lights. See, everybody comes home, they turn on all the lights, the TV's on full blast, but we need to work on taking our cortisol level and start to taper it down so that by the time we walk into our bedroom to go to sleep, it's already kind of down here, and then it shuts off and serotonin wakes up. That is the goal, okay? So if you have dimmers, that's a good thing to do, right? So that we can start to taper it down. Here's the other part of this. Now, if you have like a Fitbit or an exercise watch, looking and tracking your sleep for a couple of nights is actually a very good thing because it's very eye-opening. And here's why. We have what's called deep sleep cycles, and then we have restless sleep. Now, restless sleep doesn't mean we're awake, it just means we're not in deep sleep. In a perfect world, in an 8-hour bout of sleep, we would have 6 hours of deep sleep and 2 of restless. Now, here's the challenge. In a deep sleep cycle, you can't, if you get pulled out of a deep sleep cycle, you can't go back in to finish it. You have to start a new one. And every time you have to start a new one, there's a period of restless sleep. So to give you an example, I was looking at a client's sleep cycle the other day. They were doing approximately 10 to 20 minutes of deep sleep cycles in between huge restless sleep. So that means that by the time they woke up in the morning, they needed an alarm. They forced themselves to hit the snooze button because they were so groggy and tired. They just felt like they needed that extra sleep, which the snooze button is a different story. I'm going to talk about that in a second, but we'll put the snooze button aside. The point is that they woke up not feeling awake and ready for their day. Ideally, in the perfect scenario, you should wake up probably before your alarm. And you're like, yeah, it's time to get up. I'm going to get up now, right? That's the sensation you want. If you feel like you need a pitchfork to get you out of bed, then no, you didn't get that sensation. You have too much restless sleep in your sleep. So we need to work on getting more deep sleep cycles and fewer of the restless sleep cycles. And I'm going to talk more about how to set up your room and everything on another video, but for now, that's what I want you to think about. So if you can get a Fitbit or any kind of these exercise watches and look and track your sleep cycles so that you can figure out, oh, I'm not getting enough deep sleep, what do I need to do? We will talk about that more later, but I do want to talk about the snooze button. So here's the thing with the snooze button. Actually, the snooze button hampers your mental clarity for up to 4 hours, depending on how many times you hit that snooze. So what does that mean? Remember I said first half is physical sleep, second half is mental. So you have woken up, you're awake, and now you're going to hit the snooze button to go back to sleep. So in theory, you're going back to a new sleep night, in essence, right? You're going back to sleep, brand new. And it's not enough time to have a deep sleep cycle at all. So you have only restless sleep for a short period of time where you wake up again to hit the snooze button yet again. So you are having basically prolonged restless sleep. So your brain isn't getting a chance to really just recover. And now you get up for your day and you'll be slightly groggy. And here's the interesting thing is if this is the way you have lived all your life, you don't know what it feels like to wake up fully rested. You are assuming that you feel great and that you're fully rested and there's nothing wrong. You assume that. But guess what? I can promise you can feel better. Seriously, no, I really can. So I want you to think about that. Even though you may think like, oh, I don't know what she's talking about. I wake up, I feel great, it's no big deal. I hit the snooze button 4 times. I have mental clarity. I do great at work. What if I told you could be smarter? Really, seriously, you could be smarter. Who knows? You really could be. So think about that when it comes to sleep. It's really important for us to get those deep sleep cycles, approximately 6 hours. That's your goal.